Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler,
And Jessica.
and we are coming to you from the desert in California. That makes me want to just crouch down as we see it. That's better because or else we're chopping the top of my head off. Ooh, we're going to get the echo here. So we're in the desert, and we're going to share the whole story in our upcoming adventures, which you can catch on usually Tuesdays and Thursday nights, although we have an election apparently tomorrow, and so we won't be sharing the story tomorrow. But we've been hopping and skipping along our way, and it's been a very unnerving time in many ways, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we've been doing, and that we all get challenged to do right now, is to breathe into everything. And I say that, just breathe into things. And if you breathe, you become the calm at the eye of the storm. It's not quite that simple. Actually, we have a whole class, a 4-week boot camp. We're going to be teaching you how to do this. We're going to give you some tools tonight, but we have a 4-week program, Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, next Wednesday, following Wednesday, when the whole world is probably going to feel a little bit like it's coming apart at its seams, where we're going to be helping you to become the calm at the eye of the storm. If you've never done a boot camp before, it costs only $7 to try it. And you're going to meet lots of friends and family. And it'll be at this time coming this Wednesday, next Wednesday, the following Wednesday. We will help you learn. We're going to, I call it becoming a Zen Jedi Knight, help train you to become the calm at the eye of the storm. But with that said, I want to share how we got here and share what we're doing right now to become the calm at the eye of the storm. Now, it's interesting because we follow the energy, which means we are really trusting intuition to guide us. And that does not always feel easy. And so we are in this most amazing RV here. It's a rental RV. We're going to be purchasing an RV within the next few months. And we've been traveling around the country, feeling out what feels right. How does this feel? Where do we want to be? Now, first off, I never expected we'd be going or moving to Sedona. We ended up in Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly never expected to be going to and thinking about moving to Las Vegas. We've got a whole show on that, so you'll want to catch that. We ended up in Las Vegas. And then I certainly never ended up, particularly because when we started this trip, it was socked in smoke. Never expected to be in California and considering moving here for the winter time. And I won't say where here is. I'm going to leave that for the show. It's kind of a teaser. But we woke up just this morning and we have 12 days to return this RV and move into someplace for the winter, because originally we were planning on purchasing an RV after we got off the road. Well, actually, originally we were planning on going back to Colorado, which is a story that we've covered in our other videos, but we were going to be getting off the road into a new RV, and we decided let's wait and see what happens economically over the next few months before we purchase a land yacht. Sound about right? Mm-hmm. And so we woke up this morning early, and it was hard to be that calm at the eye of the storm because our nervous systems were saying, and I know you're running the chat, so I'm going to pull the string on the back of your head, and the nervous systems were saying, oh my God. Does that sound about right?
More or less.
And so we got to practice what we preach. First off, I think your nervous system got going, and you went from laying down in bed to, after some discussion, I think first you said, I'm afraid, Michael. And I didn't necessarily make her feel better in that moment. I said, honestly, I'm afraid too, Pookie. But then we started doing the work. And because I don't see fear as a bad thing. I see fear as an energy. And so you were laying down and you went. And you went into.
I didn't really do this, though.
It's a symbolic gesture for the
I
camera.
know, but
You went into meditation.
Mhm.
And did you go into manifestation and meditation? What kind of work were you doing there? So we just say you did meditation.
the main goal at first was just to detach from thought, to just be in the emptiness,
And
because
Yeah.
all the emotions, all the fear was rooted in thought. So if I could just, cut the emotion at the thought, well, if I just cut the thought out, there was no emotion.
well, it's interesting that you say cut the emotion at the thought, because I picture this cable that just kind of flops and sinks down and is no longer active at all once you snip it. And so you snipped it good.
Over and over and over again, because the mind is very persistent with its thoughts.
And
So it was a lot of work, a lot of pruning.
And then after the pruning, and I had my own process, but if you don't mind, I'll stay with you for a minute, if that's okay. There are these tiny little
There's a lot of
chiggers that
a lot
are,
of bugs.
I don't think they're biting, but
No,
they're definitely, I don't know, having a studio light party. This is only 5 minutes in. What's it going to be like at the ending? But then you went, I see fear as an energy, and I'll get back to that more in a minute. Everything is not as it appears to be. It's one of my favorite teaching is objects and mirrors are not as they appear to be. So you have all this energy coursing through you. You snip all of the pathways for that energy, but the energy is still there. And so what did you do to play with that energy? What kind of manifestation tools? Because you helped bring about the end result today, certainly, with your meditation.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I could finally get some space in the mind, meaning when I could actually stop most of the thoughts, then there was room for something better to come in. And that's when I set the intention for our future home base to come to us. And I remember thinking, but nonetheless thinking during my meditation that that's kind of odd, because homes are generally stable, or they're immobile. And that is what we were intending. I'm not talking about possibly
Rolling homes.
Yeah, at the moment. But I was thinking home base as in like a non-mobile one.
Yeah. And
I remember thinking that, well, that's kind of odd to ask it to come to us because it's not moving.
It's interesting because afterwards we compared notes, because I was doing my own work, and you said something the equivalent of na 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 poo poo, because I said something about may the right home come to us, or something kind, gentle, easy, good, or
You had said you asked for steering and guidance.
That's it. And you're like,
and I'm like, I'm done asking for steering and guidance, because
give me what I want.
Misinterpret steering and guidance like on a minute-to-minute basis.
And steering and guidance can hurt.
And so I was like, let's just make it easy. Come to us.
So, do I share about my process, or do I share? And okay, and we'll get back to it a little bit, to it coming to us. But that's again the whole story that we're going to be story that we're going to be sharing in one of our upcoming shows here. But what I did is I focused less on what the outcome is initially. I went there in my automatic writing, automaticwriting.com. Can't recommend it enough, which has been steering and guiding us through this whole journey. My automatic writing actually said there'd be magic today. Lean into the magic. You're actually, all right. So I'm going to back up and I'm going to completely tangent, which drives you insane.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 days ago, was it 2 days ago, or was it? Yeah, it was 2 days ago. We were supposed to be packing up to leave Las Vegas. and we're supposed to do 2 stops, a pet store and a Whole Foods. We get in the car, we drive down the road. Now
it's after dark, and Michael doesn't like to leave for any place once the sun is set.
This is true.
He turns into a pumpkin.
However, well put. But in my Tesla or something, I'm still zip at night in Colorado. In this pickup truck that we rented.
Yeah.
On the
in an unfamiliar city with.
I'm going to go beyond that. It felt like, I don't know how to describe, the energy of Vegas just doesn't resonate with me. It feels, and so I'm driving down the road, and the GPS guides us to Whole Foods, but somehow it guides us past Whole Foods. It says rerouting, and takes us to the Luxembourg Hotel, the Luxor Hotel, giant pyramid in Vegas with a light shooting out the top. And where am I going with this story? We ended up on the Strip walking around. It was total flow. And we ended up, who knows, it could have been because of that. We ended up in, it wasn't Excalibur. It was in New York. We ended up in New York. And we ended up at Zoltar from the movie Big. And Zoltar spoke to you.
You want to explain who Zoltar is? Because not everybody has seen Big, especially if you're under the age of 30.
Zoltar is an old game from Coney Island, or the New Jersey Shore, where there's a torso of a fortune teller, Sufi, with a turban on, the big goatee, giant gold rings on his hands, and he is saying, "Give me a gift, and I shall tell you your future." Almost became Labrador there. Whole nother story. And he was on the other side of a gate that you couldn't actually get through.
Yeah, because he's actually, I think ordinarily during daytime hours, he's out in the middle of the mall. But after hours, they pull it back into the store and then they put the gate down.
So I don't think people regularly use it on the other side of the gate. He was just plugged in. Accidentally, we had passed another Zoltar on the Strip, and we had talked about doubling back, but you said it's not your nature.
Yeah, we already gone like, I don't know, 15, 20 feet past the first Zoltar. What is it?
Zoltar.
And it was a really crowded sidewalk because it was Halloween. And I didn't feel like turning around and weaving through all the people to get back.
Yeah. So Zoltar found us. Zoltar should not be plugged in, just like in the movie Big. Zoltar is behind a gate. How are we even going to pay?
And the bars, the thin bars, are like this. There's only like an inch and a half space to like stick your credit card through and to tap it on.
Well, it's even cooler than that. You couldn't put $1 in there. You couldn't put a card in normally. It had to be a chip.
It had to be something that you could just like
beam
tap on the receiver, and then to retrieve your ticket, you had to like stick your hand in like this and kind of work your way in to reach the ticket and pull it out.
And so you did you say a prayer or anything when you did it?
I think in my head I was thinking, what do I need to know? So there wasn't a specific question.
And then for myself, it was a specific question of how do we manifest this place that we're going? And it said,
that was the second ticket.
Okay, tell me about your first ticket, if you want.
My first ticket said something along the lines of, you believe in fate. And then something about how you're about to manifest what you want. And it also mentioned that I'm a very tidy person by nature, and I can't stand clutter. So whoever comes into my life will have
Hold
to
on. Hold on.
default to my tidiness or something like that, which is really funny because earlier that day, I was complaining about the clutter that
And it's not that we're not neat. It's that in a rolling home.
mhm.
So, and this is a luxury home, but it's a luxury home that's only 35 feet long. Every paperclip, which is funny that it attached itself to my phone, every paperclip must have a home.
Yeah. So then what did your ticket say?
My ticket said, I got 2 tickets.
The first one.
The first one said, your wish is granted.
No, that was the second one.
That was the second.
But you explain why you had 2 tickets.
I got 2 tickets because
this is from Zoltar.
Because Zoltar, and yes, we're talking about Zoltar in Vegas and what this has to do with understanding that all of these emotions of the storm around you are just temporary, and that at the center there is something special waiting for you. And so I put in my paid for my first reading from Zoltar, and then he said, give me more and I will tell you more. And I said, oh, what the heck, it's Vegas. And so I did. This is better than winning at Vegas in a sense. It all worked out today like a miracle. And he says, your wish is granted. So, and it was really for what took place today. And so this morning I'm doing a meditation, and what I'm wanting to do is switch the energy. I've got Pookie, who's concerned off to the side. My job is to be the rock. And rather than say, don't worry, we've got this. Maybe that's what I should have said. I said, I'm scared too. And then I went into like Mr. Miyagi. And I've just got this giant bubble of gold and glowing love and light going on about us, infusing us, coming through the heart, and trying to get us into such a sacred space that only goodness or something better can possibly reach us. And that was my goal in that meditation. And then I went into my automatic writing and wrote about what we were looking for and got the same answer as Zoltar gave. First, it said, magic is coming today. Expect miracles. Lean into the magic. And then it ended on my automatic writing, which is a process where I go quiet, I listen to music, and I type basically with my eyes closed, without thought, whatever comes out, comes out. And it said, your wish is granted. Right at 111. Your wish is granted. And then we got up.
We took a walk around wherever we are. And well, I don't know how to tell this story, actually.
We're gonna tell the most abridged version of it, which is when I got back here, there were people talking in front of our place. Mm-hmm. One thing led to the next, led to a phone call, led to me going out for another walk, because I'm a walker, a runner, a jogger, a runner, and I'm continuously out if I can. So, and as I'm leaving for another walk, somebody is pulling up here at the RV. And she had basically chased us down to show and tell us where we were going to live as a home base for our magical RV journey. She and her home, in a sense, as you asked for, came to us. No coincidence, no accident. And it happened because we chose not to feed, I want to say the evil weevil, that voice in our heads that is saying, you're doomed, everything's wrong, everything's not working out. Look at all this clutter, look at this storm, look at this chaos, look at the this, look at the that. Okay, that may be there, but when you focus on that, that's what you attract. You instead cut every single cord so that you could attract something different. And you are even better than me at saying, All right, Mr. Warm and Fuzzy of steering and guidance. Here's what I want. And you like put it on paper to the universe. And universe went
Well, what I realized was the thoughts that were causing the fear were also blocking the manifestation because I was focusing on what I was afraid of.
And that's huge because it is easy to catch yourself. When we think of calm at the eye of the storm, and Jessica and I are really good at both parts of this. But first, we're really good at getting ourselves into a storm. I'll get worried or concerned. Or Jessica will get worried and concerned.
Or I'll think something about Michael. I'll think Michael's worried and concerned, and then I'll get worried and concerned, even if he's actually not worried and concerned.
And then in the past, I'm much better. I am cool as a cucumber. Am I cool as a cucumber on this trip?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm cool as a cucumber, but in the past, I would go, oh, wow, she's really worried about me. Let's party. I get all worried and concerned about your being worried and concerned, thinking that you're upset with me. And then you would see me getting upset or worried and concerned, not realizing it's a feedback loop. And so then your stable rock has now, and we would become the storm. If instead we're like, nah, man, that's not it. And I've been using a lot of clarifiers with you lately, saying, I know you think I'm XYZ, but actually I am not. And what that is doing, exactly what you did in meditation, it's cutting the cord. We can do that with our own minds. We can say, oh my God, wait, whoa. Am I really? It's a great line to use. Am I really? Well, no, I know everything seems like a mess. Like tomorrow's election. It seems like if this guy wins, this is going to happen. Or if that guy wins, that's going to happen. And you can ask yourself, yeah, but is it really going to be the end of the world? And if you think it is, then there are bomb shelters and things you can do about it. But if you get at the core of things, watch Dr. Michael Lennox's interview from a few days ago. Oh my God, is it amazing. If you get at the core of it, you realize that you're getting yourself into this frothing frenzy where you're building your own feedback loop of you get worried, you get concerned, you get concerned, you get worried. And it's interesting. Like last night, I think it was last night, we had one heck of a drive. Car flip over in front of us, no exaggeration. Another car coming to us head on our side of the road, no exaggeration. And after that, your nervous system comes up. And it's very easy when your nervous system is up to find something else to worry about and something else to worry about and something else to worry about. When you start to go down, you need to recognize it and cut it off fast. That takes you from being out here swirling around in the storm and all of a sudden, present moment, man. Cool as a cucumber. Seemed like you might have something you wanted to add.
Well, so when that car had veered into our lane and you basically laid on your horn, and for several moments, that car was still in our lane.
Yes.
And you couldn't veer off of the road because the road was literally bordered by sand, and in a vehicle like this, you can't
14 tons.
You can't really
touch the sand.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna flip. Not roll, but probably just end up like.
It wouldn't be pretty. And
side.
my mind afterwards is actually starting to play out that scenario. And I said, you're not allowed to do that. Because then who knows what badness happens once the mind starts going to the freak out zone.
So at the very last moment, this person sort of wakes up. I don't think they were asleep. They were looking at what had just happened behind them. They veer back into their lane, but my heart was like still pounding. It like hurt from the amount of adrenaline. How did you bring yourself back to center and to coolness to continue driving?
That's a great question. I immediately went to my breath. I went to, right after the breath, I went to prayer. And I went into a massive litany of thank yous to the angels, to the guides, to everyone that just kept us safe. We passed a vehicle that had flipped over, which is why this woman was not paying attention to what lane she was in. She was looking at a vehicle that had just rolled over. And I'm sending them love and healing thoughts. And then I did, in a sense, what you did, which is I got back to the business of being in the now, of being in this moment, of I've got a job to do. My job is to deliver my family safely to our potential new home. Or if I don't feel I can do so safely, to pull off until I can get centered.
But there was actually no place to pull off because there was no shoulder. There was
nothing.
There were the sandbanks.
So I could not. It wasn't to stuff it down. It was a let it go. Because I wanted to cry and curl up in a ball after that happened. Because my mind went to, oh my God, if that had happened, what would have happened here? What would have happened there? You weren't seatbelted at the time. So...
No, I don't recall what I was doing.
You were taking care of something for us.
I think I was getting you some water.
Thank you. We might want to keep you seatbelted and not getting me water now. But I had to just clip those things and get back to the job at hand. Without pushing, without rushing. I know I went even slower after that. Meditation, tapping, EFT, emotion code, all of these things are great, but and can help with healing. But in the moment, you don't need to really heal anything. What you need to do is be in the moment. And thank God, and you have considered me a fuddy-duddy at times. I cannot think of a better person in that moment. You have quicker reflexes. I know this. But of a better person in that moment, maybe because of my meditation training or whatever, to be, when that car was coming to me, how do I thread this needle? Perfectly. Because I don't have room for error. Because if you yank the wheel on this sucker, it's going to be bad news.
Yeah, you can't exactly slam on the brakes either.
Oh, I was in a turn. So if I slammed on the brakes, I was actually, if you're turning this way and you slam on the brakes, you're going this way, which is where she was. So you just have to drop in. You have to suddenly be the calm. The more that we can practice gently, letting go of all external energies, that's what this all is, the more we draw it back to here. So if you're watching this, for instance, and whatever happens tomorrow, about 50% of people are going to be a complete disaster. And I don't think the other 50% are going to be that much better, because my broken crystal ball suggests tomorrow is not the answer, or tomorrow is not will not give us the clarity that anybody is looking for. And so we may need to literally flip the switch, or we need to metaphorically flip the switch and bring it back to here and say, there's only so much of this junk that I want to follow. And I'm not saying that it's not important, but nothing to me is more important than getting back into here. That's where you're going to be able to go, what do I do to take care of my family right now? So for instance, our dear friend, and she's helping run the chat here, Aya, in the Philippines, got hit with a Category 4 hurricane.
Typhoon, technically.
Typhoon.
Super typhoon.
Super typhoon.
Which she said ended up being the equivalent of a Category 5 hurricane in some parts of the Philippines.
So if she had been in a place of, oh my God, 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 she wouldn't have been able to help anybody or even take care of herself. At those moments, we cannot say, hey, let me mate with the typhoon energy. But I need to instead just drop in.
Can you elaborate on what you mean by drop in?
Yes. So you can. It's interesting because I started learning a technique a few years ago. Hold on. What hold on means is I'm picturing this rope of energy connecting from you could say from your root chakra, but we'll call it from the earth. It's interesting, the siren's going off. From the earth to the sky, and there's this giant rope of energy. And so when I go hold, what I'm literally doing is I'm connecting with this rope of energy. On. And then I'm grounding into my dantian, grounding into my core, and rooting myself. That does not have to be, you don't have to walk around going, hold on. But I was doing that because Jessica and I had this massive feedback loop going on. And I wanted to break the cord of she's going, Michael, you need to. And I'm going, I need it. Hold on. But if you can think of grabbing onto a cord at the center of your being, you could picture like an old school well and turning a crank, and it drops a bucket down into the still waters at the base of the well. And now your cord is connected to that. That to me is energetically dropping in. I'm dropping into the bottom of that well. I'm dropping into deepness. I'm dropping into stillness. I picture the water down there being cool, not cold, but cool, and it just being very, very quiet. Hold on. And I literally, when I do this, you can hear a tonality change. Hold on. If you can tell yourself in moments when you're going nuts, it's okay. And you can finish on kind of an sound. Frequency isn't just energy. Frequency is a tonality that we attune to. Frequency is a tonality that we attune to. Your voice becomes a tuning fork that takes you out of the, oh my God, what's going on? Where am I going to go? What just happened in the election? They did what? The riot was this, to hold on. It's that sound. And in one breath or one statement, you can shift yourself out of that place of panic. What do you do to drop in?
Well, actually, what I was just thinking about was Ruru, our rescued rooster that we have on board. He's sleeping right now, and in the mornings he tends to crow a lot, and after a while it becomes really difficult to just even think or get anything done.
It's interesting. I've been thinking about this lately. And I like to say we're near lifelong meditators. We've been meditating quite a few years, at least, is a good way to put it.
Mhm.
And so we were gifted with an amazing animal who really brings me back to center, really feels so amazing, calms me more than anything else in the world when he's not cock-a-doodle doing. But I'm convinced we were brought the loudest crooner in the world. Forget about loud dog barking. Has nothing on Ruru's cock-a-doodle-doo. That boy has pipes.
It's like piercing. So, if you're already stressed, he's going to be crowing more because he's feeling your energy. I'm not saying you as in you specifically, Michael, but anybody.
You get nervous. If you get nervous, he's going to basically cry for help. Does that sound about right?
Right, and then he doesn't stop because you're not calming down, and so he'll crow for more. And then the more he crows, the more agitated you get, the more he crows. So he's the greatest teacher for us right now, because what you really have to do in those moments is drop what you're doing, drop the thoughts that you're thinking about or stressing over, go over to Ruru, pray that he'll let you pick him up. Actually, you don't have to pick him up, but
I sat with him this morning when he was nervous.
uh-huh.
I just sat down with him. But to continue, I did
Well,
what
you
you were
have
going
to
to
do what
say.
you're just describing, dropping in.
Mhm.
And then what I do with Ruru is I place my hand very, very lightly on the back of his, kind of like between his shoulder blades. And I'll just start sending him love and light. And after a few moments, he'll calm down. And then I find that practice of me sending love and light to Ruru is actually putting me in a very, very calm, centered space.
I've never found a more calming animal than Ruru because of that. And what it is it's a practice to me of leaning into the storm. If you are freaked out by Ruru, and so you go in the other room, Ruru will be freaked out more. He's just a little boy. He'll be like, man, I didn't know if there was something to panic about, but she just ran away from me. There is really something to be worried about here. Instead, you have to be by his side. Hold him, anything him. But lean into him. Lean into the discomfort. Because it is piercing. He even to himself, he'll crack his own voice as he's crooning.
I mean, I'm ashamed to admit that in my head at times I'm screaming, "Shut up! Just stop!"
Which he can hear.
But yeah, like energetically or maybe telepathically, he gets that feedback from me. So I can't do that.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I can, but suffer the consequences.
It doesn't work well. Well, it's interesting. So let's be completely honest. When he first started doing his side hustle a few weeks ago.
Yeah. When we were scrambling to get the house packed up and everything moved into storage or onto the RV in a very short amount of time, 2.5 weeks, I started to neglect Ruru a little bit.
Myself included.
I mean, he had free range of the outdoors, and we were outdoors too. He started to get really agitated. Mm-hmm. And then he started to express his agitation by attacking me.
Chasing you.
Yeah, and then like pecking at my feet and my ankles. And that really freaked me out. And I thought, well, like, is this part of his development? Because he's still young. He's about 9 months now, and we haven't spent a lot of time around chickens or roosters, so everything is new to us and new to Ruru. And I thought, what if this is part of his development into adolescence, and this is like a sign of more and more aggressive behavior as he gets older?
And
instead, over the course of the last few weeks, after my nervous system had a chance to take it down 1,000, and as we got adjusted to living on the road and the RV and everything, the space started to open up for me to give Ruru more attention, the attention that he deserves.
And for myself, there are a few times where he got aggressive with me, where I don't really get aggressive with anything back, but I pushed him away. In fact, one time I pushed him up here, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, Ruru. But he was like coming for me. And what I learned is that if you meet that agitation head on, and I'm like the most kindness, compassionate, loving person to even to these little fly thingies here. But if you meet agitation head on, what you'll get is an amplifier of agitation. It's almost like if somebody comes at you freaked out, you just grab them and give them the biggest hug in the world. And that's what he needed, actually. That's what he needed, to know it's okay. And he is a reflection of our egoic mind right now. Our egoic mind needs to know everything's going to be okay. And if it knows, if we tell it, if we wake up in the morning and say everything, I'm sorry I didn't say this morning, everything's going to be okay. I was like, drop into the energy, drop into it. But if we go, everything's going to be okay, to our ego, everything is amplified in that direction as well. And so with Ruru, each time he's crowing or seems agitated now, they call him our special needs chicken. So each time, a rooster, please forgive me, Ruru. Each time, if I realize he is the master, he truly is our guide. We're learning this. We know this on a spiritual level, but now we're actually seeing it manifest. If instead,
He's also like Elvis.
you can tell him about Elvis, taking Elvis on the strip, because that was just, I've never seen anything like it. Except, oh, go ahead.
It's just that, like, when we take him out for walks, people just flock to him.
So, we couldn't even get 5 minutes here before this talk tonight, where we couldn't even walk down the road, could we?
Yeah, which caused us to scramble a bit to get everything set up for the YouTube Live tonight.
What does this mean? I can't believe I'm going to say this. We all have an inner rooster. We all have a Ruru that gets freaked out by what we see going on around us and has an energetic feedback loop.
It's true. When I'm like at my scaredy cattyist, that's when I'm most likely to like lash out at you. And I'm lashing out at you because I'm trying to protect myself.
When I used to lash out at you, and I still do it in subtle ways. Forgive me. I'm still learning of what I do that's subtle, but to you is not so subtle, and ways that I get to improve. And I couldn't tell you right now, but each day I catch one or two things where I'm like, that's a dick move, Michael. Sorry, this is relationships. We all have, I have my stuff to work on, and I think I'm a pretty damn good hoobie, but I still have my stuff to work on. But I would create the very situation that I'm afraid of to try to protect myself. Oh, she's going to hurt me. She's going to leave me. She's going to this. She's going to that. Why don't you just?
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, okay, fine. I'm out the door. Ciao, Bella. See ya. We do that. We put fire on gasoline, fire on the fuel, gasoline on the flames when we're afraid at the very time we need to get off of the gas. And if we can recognize that we do that, that's being the calm at the eye of the storm, is recognizing, oh, this is where I usually give her a, that's not going to help anything. So part of this calm at the eye of the storm is recognition of when we do that. But we don't just do that to our loved ones. For every time you do to a loved one, You do that a good 10-fold, maybe 100-fold to yourself. If we want to heal the world's problems, we need to stop picking on ourselves. I'm only speaking for me here and for probably everybody we're seeing on TV right now. But there's so much inner woundedness that we pick on ourselves about. And the opposite of being an eye in the center of the storm is to not turn the tables and get upset with yourself under any circumstance, because it creates a feedback loop. And you think you don't like X person or Y person on TV or this or that. Chances are they're so upset with themselves, it's coming out at everybody else. Kindness and compassion. But we're not, in my opinion, there's no rules in life. But if I was to put a rule in there, it would be don't pick on yourself, because that one hurts you and hurts everybody around you.
And my watch just buzzed.
What does that mean?
It's telling me to move.
Your watch is telling you to move. All right, well, we'll go for just a little bit longer, and then we will get you some movement. And we have a nice organic vegan pizza in the oven for me that I get to partake in. And then we will have Thursday night, we will have our next
Open Heart Warrior Boot Camp.
Actually, that'll be Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, what? Wednesday. Not this Thursday. You mean next Thursday. Next Thursday is automatic writing.
Yeah, that's not where I was going.
Oh.
But I like it.
Okay.
If you want to learn automatic writing, that's coming up too. No, we're...
Oops.
We will
clarify in the chat room.
Okay, I believe our Ruru special, our video on Ruru, is coming out on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
We're taking people on a journey. It's our Inspire Nation Quest. It's this new video series that we're doing. And the Ruru special is coming out this Thursday. It was going to come out sooner, but we put up Dr. Michael Lennox's amazing interview on this time period on the elections, on what's coming after, which we put that up instead. We do have class Wednesday, though, a boot camp. So, all right, let's tell it like it is. Almost nobody is going to be happy after tomorrow. That's my prediction. How about yours?
Well, there are some people that don't care.
Okay, they're going to be happy tomorrow. And other than that, anybody who has attached their happiness to this election, they may get a peak spike tomorrow before crap goes down. And I think it's a fair certainty that the results are going to be clear as mud. And so Wednesday, we are going to get together as a group and say, it's okay. It's okay. And then as a boot camp, we're going to give you specific work to do. You've worked in customer service, right?
Yes.
I've worked in customer service. What I know about a company from customer service is that every company messes up. The companies that are special are the ones that take the mess up and do something great with it. Tomorrow, we're going to be, as a collective, all messed up. The people who are going to come out the best from this are going to do our boot camp on Wednesday, because we are going to learn how to turn that messed upness into something incredibly special. It doesn't have to be the boot camp. I'm biased. It's a great bunch of people getting together. But if you can flip this energy on its head, it is so much more powerful to be working on our inner stuff during this crazy time than to be sitting on a cave. We're in a cave. That's my bias, working on your inner stuff. You're in a cave. How much are you going to get out of it? But when the energies are freaking out all around you.
Well, you could, be in a cave and invite a dozen roosters in with you.
Aww. That sounds kind of sweet.
And then work on inner peace.
Oh, okay. Yes. Better yet, be in a cave that has an echo chamber and bring one rooster in with you, and the sound is bouncing throughout the entire thing. So what does that mean? It means we're going to get together this Wednesday, next Wednesday, the Wednesday after, and the Wednesday after, 4 Wednesdays in a row at 5:30 Pacific time, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And we are going to do some specific work as a group. We're going to do group clearing work, group intention setting work. We're going to be working on emotional wounds and blocks. We're going to be transmuting this energy as a group. And there is a specialness. There's an amplification takes place when you set group intention and you come together as a group. And we are going to turn this nervous energy, flip it on its head, coming up, but teach you. Not teach you when we're in the cave and things are quiet, minus the roo-roo sound bouncing around, but teach you, especially when things are wacky around you, how you can turn this into something good. That's what we're going to be working on. That's why it's a boot camp, because this is hardcore. This is in the trenches. This is the day after the election of all elections of the history of this country. And because democracy in theory hasn't been around that long, this is the election of all elections in the modern history of humankind. And I'm not saying that as if I'm biased toward the US, but this is a big deal. But the outcome's going to be clear as mud. And so we're going to need to drop in as a group. And so that will be this Wednesday. If you haven't done a boot camp before, $7 to try it. So come join us. It is an amazing group of human beings. And this is going to be extra special. I'm not sure if there's anything you want to include about it. I know the energy of each boot camp has been growing stronger and stronger and stronger because we started, our first boot camp was March, the start of COVID. Mm-hmm. I can't believe this is like boot camp 10.
Yeah.
Magic 10 now. So it's going to be really, really, really cool. Anything else that you want to share with people? Oh, boot camp. You get to ask all of your questions. You get to, there's a lot of interaction with it. Anything else you want to include?
No, did you say what you wanted to say about Thursday?
Oh, Thursday is going to be the Roo-Roo special.
Okay. Out
on YouTube, same time. So, and then we'll have more on our journey the following Tuesday. And as we work on, I'm setting the tone energetically. And there's a reason we're out here in California. And that is because we are working on manifesting a...
Oh, I thought it was a secret where we were.
No, I said we're in California.
Okay.
I didn't say where. I said California desert. So, and I just keep hearing Morpheus in the Matrix saying the desert of your mind.
Is there that much desert in California?
Yeah, actually, the whole Eastern California from San Diego almost all the way up to the Oregon border. Not quite, because there are redwoods up there. Is a desert. You'll have to come to that next show. I guess
there's a lot more to explore.
There is a lot more to explore. But we're working on creating a true TV show now. And what you guys are watching on Tuesdays and Thursdays is kind of our experiment as we're working on this Netflix show. Could be Amazon, but I believe it'll be Netflix. And watching it come together right now is really, really cool. It's scary. At times it feels like we're completely off track. We're not in the right direction. How will it be received? That's the ego. That's the... I don't want to say Roo. Roo is not the ego, but that is the scared part of our mind. And yet we hold on and we breathe into it. And there's been more magic coming and more magic coming and more. I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to add.
No, it's just that when you say hold on, it's interesting because usually we're told to let go.
Can we do both?
You're letting go of the external and you're holding on to something from the inside.
Yeah, I'm holding on to that core. I'm holding on to that bucket in the well rather than holding on to any externality, which at the end of the day, every single externality lies. Nothing is as it appears to be. Not a darn thing, which is really hard at times. True. Do we want to open it up to a few extra special questions or leave them for our boot camp?
We can spend about 5 minutes on questions.
All right. So if you have a question and you want to get it in, I see somebody just wrote, "The world needs more love, Edward." And I keep on hearing songs lately. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. So true, Edward. And I'm working on that singing thing. I actually want to take singing lessons. I really want to take singing lessons. All right. So is it from Julie? Is it entirely up to us to hold on to the light? Who wins? Who loses? Details. Focus on the lessons.
That's not a question.
Ah, okay. Do we have any questions?
If not, then we get to bed sooner.
Which is kind of cool because Ruru is still on mountain time. I think we got an extra 15 minutes out of him this morning, though. We overtired him yesterday.
Susan asked, Ruru is your service rooster?
Yes, 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 and yes. Oh my God, yes. There has never been another animal that has helped us to calm down and drop in. And kitty cats are sensitive, but they don't have the pipes Ruru does. And he's been amazing. Julie says, I think who wins it is a detail. The themes of the Bing lessons can we discuss? Julie, it's so true. At the end of the day, no one person is going to change everything unless that one person is you. And you, and you, and you. That's what's going to change everything. When we realize that, and this isn't a kumbaya, warm and fuzzy, intangible. Go into a supermarket line. If you're freaked out, or everybody's seen somebody freaked out in line, or seen a freaked out cashier, everybody freaks out. If instead you go into a cashier line and you bring love and smiles, that is exceptionally contagious. You go into like a Starbucks I haven't done this, but I've heard this from numerous guests now. You go into a drive-through line with Starbucks and you pay for the person behind you. Mm-hmm. Then they all of a sudden will pay for the person behind them and pay for the person. And now everybody's got smiles.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you're going to vote for.
No, they're just happy. They're just happy. I'll take one more
Edward
question.
asked, how do we shine bright and share more love to the world?
By being Edward. Edward, you rock.
I think simply setting the intention shifts you to shine brighter.
Intention is everything. If we intend for tomorrow to be a turning point for humanity, when all eyes are focused and coming together as one on the outcome, whatever the outcome is, and we set intention during this time of it being a massive, I'm picturing that Archimedes is famous for the line, give me a large enough lever and I will move the world. If we set a big enough intention as humanity, as individuals, that we are rounding a bend and coming into even more love and light, I'm convinced we are rounding a bend and coming into even more love and light.
Well, I think we're good.
I think we're good. So come join us Wednesday. It costs almost nothing, $7. I guess that's what, a Starbucks coffee and a half these days?
I wouldn't say almost nothing because that can be a lot for somebody.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
Especially if they're in another country.
And I am so old that I worked for $3.35 an hour. I worked waiting jobs for I think $2.85 an hour. Yeah, $3.35.
But doing what?
Wow, many jobs. I was assistant caddy master at $3.35. I worked at a Hallmark gift shop for $3.35. I worked at a laundromat for $3.35. I worked as a gas station.
Laundromat. I don't remember that.
Yeah. So it was for a place in Topsfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And everybody's clothes was coming out ruined. And and the owners weren't taking care of people. Uh-huh. And bad juju, bad karma. Yeah. All right, so we're going to expose myself here a little bit, which is people come in and just start yelling at us
Uh-huh.
behind the counter.
Uh-huh.
And there's nothing I could do. So eventually I took to showing them a map where the competitors were.
Oh God.
And the place, I don't think it still exists. It was called Sunny Lane Cleaners.
Uh-huh.
And so I started, welcoming people into Cloudy Lane Cleaners. I get it?
Uh-huh.
Cloudy Lane. Until a girl started working there.
Oh.
And eventually I shared with the girl what I was doing, and she told the owners, and I got das Boot. Das Booten.
Okay.
So,
and what would you do with your 335 times 10?
my 335 times 10 at the time would go to
Your $33.50.
gotcha, would go to bike racing or bike supplies, anything. So to get that pro deal on a bicycle, because like I pro dealed at Cannondale
Uh-huh.
at 335, that sucker took a while. It really did. So I understood. I think actually it hurt me from a manifestation point of view for a while, because I understood the, I'm doing a lot of air quotes here, value of $1 so much that I would hold on to it too tightly and not allow it to energetically flow. I've taken care of that in almost every area of my life, but I still can have a challenge in restaurants because I look at that dollar. I'm doing much better over recent years, though, aren't I?
Yeah.
And I tried like crazy to get us to like Bellagio and some of the good meals while we're in Vegas, but it's COVID. That 5-star yum yum yum. So Edward asked, is there a pay it forward program? Certainly, Edward. And how would people do that if they want to make a donation for somebody else to come into the program?
So if you're signing up yourself, well, actually, I think the easiest way is to use PayPal, and then in the notes section, write
Pay it forward. That'd be the easiest. We don't have a formal way to do it, Edward, at the moment. Or you can make a $7 donation here through YouTube, and we are happy to accept someone. We have offered scholarships in the past, and we were happy to do that to a limited number of people. I think the scholarships got a little bit out of control, and we had to pull back and try to figure that out because it was getting overwhelming.
Well, at the moment, we award 2 to 3 scholarships for the automatic writing program each month, and then
and that's a $150 program.
And basically, we just admit whoever applies for a scholarship for the boot camp.
Cool. So, wow. If you don't have the funds for it, reach out to us. So we're not going to say no. How's that?
Well, there's a link to apply for scholarships at the end of the descriptions.
Cool. All right. So let's see everybody on Wednesday night, and understand no matter what happens tomorrow, it's all love, it's all ascendance, it's all on purpose. And the discussion I've been having the most with Ruru as we go around walking, and I talk with him while I walk. So here's the thing, the last thing, which is if you walk without a rooster and you talk to yourself, people are going to know you're insane.
Or they might assume you got Bluetooth.
Unless you got the Bluetooth. It appear like you might have a Bluetooth, so you need to talk down like that or something. If you walk around with a rooster and you talk to the rooster, it doesn't matter about the talking. They just know you're insane anyway. So you're good. But the discussion we've been having is that it's all, what is the exact words that I use? It's all perfect, it's all planned. It's all perfect, it's all planned. It's all perfect, it's all planned. And it may be slightly different words that I've been using with Ruru. But what that means is everything is a cosmic setup for our highest good. Everything is happening on purpose. Everything is happening by design. everything is taking place for our highest good. There is no wrong. There is no bad. It is all a setup for our most amazing, beautiful development. And so if you can remember that and you wake up in the morning and you just want to scream and pull your hair out because you're so freaked out by things, and you can realize it's all perfect, it's all purpose, it's all by design, that too may help get you into a place of peace. So I think Jessica is saying one or two more things in the chat. Then we're going to let everybody go. Is there a last thing you wanted to say to anybody? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Was there a link that you wanted to share, anything, or we're all good?
Thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and then that way you'll be notified every time we go live. When we're on the road, sometimes internet's a little unpredictable, so we typically have a YouTube live every Sunday. This one got postponed because getting to wherever we are in the desert took a lot longer than expected.
Soft shoulder. It took a lot longer. That was a laser focused drive.
Yeah. But if you hit the bell icon, then you'll always know when we're live.
So, and last, please, if you like the show, share, tell others people about it, help them to subscribe, steal their phone, steal their computer, click the subscribe button for them, click the alert button so that they're notified of the next show. The more people that we help to go to the light, the better. That's what our mission is. I'm sure that's what your mission is as well. So love you guys so much. This too won't just pass. We're going to come out better for this. I am sure of it. And I don't pretend to have any idea what the outcome is going to be. In the long run, it doesn't matter. In the short run, if we attach too much, it could hurt. Challenging me. Go for it.
Well, what do you mean by it doesn't matter? Because it does matter.
In the long run, whichever one is going to require us to come back to the inner work. That's what it means. Mm-hmm. That's where the evolution of humanity is going to take place, is with that inner work. So yes, you're not saying just kick back and relax tomorrow. You're saying do your civic duty. Mm-hmm. I'm reading into you.
I'm always wary of saying that
nothing matters.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally agree with that completely. That's the whole recycling thing. Just throw it out. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I don't want to get into it because we're supposed to be wrapping up. But
all right, I'll leave it this way. Go watch the Dr. Michael Lennox interview. Do you want to put up a link to that? Do you have a link to that?
I had put up a link to it.
Okay. So go watch the Dr. Michael Lennox interview, a brilliant astrologer or astrologist, and there's even a whole discussion about whether it's astrologer or astrologist. But he gives the most amazing description of what's going on energetically during this time. And Louise, yes, every single voice matters. I couldn't agree with that more. And so he does a brilliant job, and Jessica's going to put up that link, and then we'll let everybody go here, of what's going on energetically right now. And that is huge. And so she is getting that link, and drum roll, please. And she's putting it down there, and then we will see everybody on Wednesday. Have an amazing, historical, incredible, do your part day ahead tomorrow. And that's your outer part, casting your ballot, and your inner part, connecting and casting that inner ballot. That could have been a cool title. Cast your inner ballot now. I'm working on it. I like it. Shine bright. But what was that? Dragonfly picked it up when it was 25 in Alaska. Yeah, where are we going to be next summer?
Maybe we'll be in Alaska.
Woohoo! Love you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Hi. And of course, I know I love you, Pokey.
Be the eye of the storm tomorrow.
Oh, actually, that I keep pressing it. It's not working. There we go. Love you guys.